the corporate veil is associated with the company law. Company law associates doctrine of lifting or piercing, under which section of the Environment Protection Act 1986 an appeal to National Green Tribunal NGT lies. Section 5A NGT lies. Even in which of the following landmark case advocate was held guilty of professional national under which section of the Environment Protection Act 1986 an appeal to National Green Tribunal NGT lies. Section 5A. Which one of the following duties relate to environmental protections? Environmental protection 51 51 H 51 AG যেটা হচ্ছে environmental protections. Actually, in which of the following landmark case the advocate was held guilty of professional misconduct as he had forced the court order? Uttar Narayan versus YP Reheja, held guilty of professional misconduct as he had forced the court order. Force order. Any advocate is aggrieved by an order of a disciplinary committee of a State Bar Council. ABC private limited company chose to a disciplinary committee agreed by any order of a, if any advocate is agreed by an order of disciplinary committee of a State Bar Council. Advocate General of a state may prefer an appeal to Bar Council of India within dash days communication of the order. 60 days communication of order. Private limited company choose to convert itself into a public company can do so by altering its memorandum of association and articles of association and by passing special resolution. Convert itself in private limited company to public. Explanation article 40. Articles 14 of the Company Act 2013 which deals with the alteration of the articles state that Article 14 of the Company Act 2013 which deals with the alteration of articles state that if any company may be special resolutions alter its articles including alteration having the effect of conversion of a private company into public company to private company, public into private, private into public. You will see alteration of articles state that if any company may be special resolutions mean the effect of conversion of private company into public company. Doctrine of lifting of a piercing the corporate veil is associated with company law. Doctrine of lifting of a piercing the corporate veil is associated with under which section of the Environment Protection Act 1986 an appeal to National Green Tribunal. Section 5A. Section 5A. Which another following mandatory duties relates environment protection is 15G. Suppose road accident occurs, then being an advocate, what is the correct way of approaching? Suppose road accident occurs, then being an advocate, what is the correct way of approaching situations? FR petitions, summoned FR petitions, insurance company, or petitions FR. Being an advocate, what is the correct way of approaching the situations? Insurance company, summon FR, FR for a petition, or summon to insurance company. If the factory employs more than 1,000 workers, factory employee, they should appoint qualified staff to carry out the prescribed duties. Safety officer, 1,000 workers, they should appoint qualified safety officer to carry out the prescribed duties. Safety officer. Mr. A was agreed by an order made by controller. A who was agreed by an order made by controller or adjudicating officer made an appeal to cyber appellate tribunal. Let Mr. A agreed by an order of the cyber appellate tribunal may prefer an appeal only in High Court. Made an appeal to cyber appellate tribunal. Letter A agreed by an order of cyber appellate tribunal only in High Court. Section 62 of the Information Technology Act 2000 states that any person aggrieved by any decisions on order cyber appellate tribunal may file an appeal to the High Court on any question of a fact or law arising out of such order. Section 62 of the Information Technology Act 2000 states any person aggrieved by any decision or order to the cyber appellate or an appeal to the High Court. Mr. X, a person who is intended by Mr. Y, an originator to receive the electronic record, is under the IIT Act. Mr. X, person who is intended by Mr. Y, an originator to receive the electronic record, is addressee. Addressee. Explanation. Section 2B of the Information Technology Act. Mr. X, a person who is intended by originator to receive the electronic record. Addressee. Section 2B of the Information Technology Act 2000 defines addressee as a person who is intended by the originator to receive the electronic record but does not include any intermediary. Who is intended defines addressee persons. Actually, Mr. X, a person who is intended to originator to receive the electronic record. Addressee. Section 2B of the Technology Act 2000 defines addressee as a person who is intended to the originator receive करेगा but does not include any intermediary. मध्यस्थी नहीं रखेगा. The minimum number of members required for registration of a trade union is minimum number of members trade union 7. Registration of trade union which is 7 members. The minimum number of members required for registration of a trade union which is 7. Explanation as per section 4.1 of the Trade Union Act. Any 26. Any 7 or more members of a trade union may apply for registration of the trade union under this act. However, no trade union of workmen shall be registered. The number of members required for registration of a trade union 7 members. As per section 4.1 of the Trade Union Act 1926, any 7 or more members of a trade union may apply for registration of the trade union under this act. However, no trade union of workmen shall be registered unless at least 10% or 100 of the workmen, whichever is less, engaged or employed in the establishment. Trade union 7 members. So section 4.1 of trade unions 1926, any 7 more members trade union may apply to registration of the trade union. However, no trade union of workmen shall be registered 10% of 100 of the workmen will be registered unless at least 10% or 100 of the workmen, which is less. Establishment of industry which is connected to trade union date of making of the applications. The text of certified standing orders. The text of certified standing orders shall be permanently posted by the employer in dash and in the language understood by the majority of the workmen. The text of the certified standing orders shall be permanently posted by the employer and in the language understood by the majority of the workmen. English. In English means text of certified standing orders in the language understood by the majority of his workmen. By the majority of his workmen. The text of the certified standing order shall be permanently posted by the employer. Language understood by the majority. A person who is ultimate control over the affairs of the factory under Factories Act 1940 is called. A person who has ultimate control over the occupier. A person who has ultimate control over the affairs of the factory. Affairs of the factory under Factories Act 1948. A person who has ultimately control called as occupier. A person who has ultimate control over the affairs of the factory under Factories Act 1940 is called as occupier. Section 2N of the Factories Act 1948 states that occupier of the factory means the person who has ultimate control over the affairs of the factory. Affairs of the factory. A person who has ultimate control over the affairs. Person who has ultimate control over the affairs of the factory. 1948 is called. Occupier of the factory means the person who has ultimate control over the affairs of the factory. Person who has ultimate control over the affairs of the factory. But it is called the occupier. Keeper of the factory means the person who has ultimate control over the affairs. If the factory employs more than 100 workers, they should appoint a qualified